right, so get this. A piece of art, and we're talking created by AI, just raked in, wait for it, $130,000 at auction.
Wow.
Yeah, it really makes you think, right? Like, what is AI going to do to creativity?
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to dive into today, how AI might be changing how we think, how we learn, even how we make stuff, knowledge, art, all of it.
Right.
And well, that auction, that's kind of the perfect example, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So we've been digging into Yuval Noah Harari's Nexus.
Right.
And then there are those studies, I think they're out of South America, about how students are already using AI.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is. It is. And the thing that really struck me about Harari's take is he doesn't see AI as just another tool.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a different beast entirely,
So AI is graduating from using tools to being a tool.
Exactly. He even says, and this is a direct quote, AI is the first human invention that can make its own decisions. Think about it. AI generating new ideas, not just, spitting out an answer like a calculator does.
Right.
It's making judgments, and that's a game changer.
So it's not just crunching numbers anymore, it's like making choices.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little unnerving if you really let yourself go there.
Yeah. I mean, think about it this way. Technology has always kind of come for labor, right?
Yeah.
Replace jobs. But historically, it was physical labor, right? Steam engine, the assembly line, all of that. It was all about muscle, basically.
But AI,
AI is coming for our cognitive work.
So instead of replacing our muscles, AI is going for our brains.
Precisely. And not even just like, simple stuff. We're talking AI doing creative work now. I mean, come on, art.
Right. That auction.
Exactly. And that was, what, 130 grand? That wasn't just some fluke. That's a sign of what's coming.
Okay. That's a lot. Okay, so we've got AI making decisions, potentially coming for our jobs, even the creative ones, but what about learning? Like, how does this impact how we learn?
Right. Well, those South American university studies, right?
Yeah.
They found that 90% of students are already using AI for their schoolwork.
90%. Are they just like asking ChatGPT for the answers?
No, not quite. They are using it to get answers, sure.
Right.
But also to structure essays, brainstorm ideas. It's more than just cheating.
Okay, I have to admit, brainstorming with an AI, that sounds kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Like having a superpowered study buddy.
Right.
But is that actually helping them, develop their own thinking? Or are they just becoming way too reliant on this thing?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
But is that actually helping them develop their own thinking, or are they just becoming way too reliant on this thing?
It's a great question. Harari, he talks about this idea of coevolution,
Okay.
where AI actually pushes human thought to evolve alongside it. It's a really powerful idea, but it does kind of make you wonder if we're risking losing something in the process,
Yeah, I mean, is it possible that by becoming so reliant on AI, our own critical thinking skills just kind of get rusty?
Exactly.
It's like the difference between Googling an answer and actually sitting down and debating something with somebody.
Yeah.
One gives you the information instantly right there.
Yeah.
But the other, you have to think it through. You have to listen to their points, consider different viewpoints.
Exactly.
You have to really engage with that information to even come to your own conclusions.
Absolutely. And with AI, there's this whole other issue of what we call the illusion of objectivity.
The illusion of objectivity.
Yeah, because AI seems neutral, right?
Right.
It's just data, algorithms, no opinions, no biases to worry about.
But those algorithms and that data, it doesn't just magically appear out of thin air. Right.
They hit the nail on the head.
Someone, somewhere.
Algorithms are built by people.
Right.
And people have biases, whether they realize it or not.
For sure.
And the data itself, right? Where does it come from? It comes from us, from the real world. And it carries all of our complexities and imperfections.
It's like we're teaching AI to think like us.
In a way, yes.
But with all of our flaws baked in.
Exactly. And so if students, right, they're using these tools to kind of bypass that often messy, always nuanced work of research and analysis, of disagreeing with an argument, defending their perspective. I mean, that has implications for how they engage with the world, right?
Yeah.
How do they learn to think for themselves if an algorithm is always right there to do it for them?
It's almost like AI can make it harder to learn in some ways.
It's a valid concern.
Especially if you never actually learn how to do that critical thinking for yourself.
Exactly. Are we going to lose those meta skills, that ability to really wrestle with information and form our own conclusions.
Yeah.
We have to find a way to integrate these tools in a way that amplifies our abilities, not replaces them.
So how do we do that? How do we actually use AI to make ourselves smarter, to think more creatively, but not become overly reliant on it?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And I don't think there's an easy answer.
Right.
But I do think part of it involves recognizing those potential pitfalls, right? While also acknowledging the incredible opportunities. I mean, just imagine students using AI to process huge amounts of information, to identify patterns and generate hypotheses in a fraction of the time it would take a human.
Wow.
It could completely revolutionize research. It could lead to breakthroughs we haven't even dreamed of.
It'd be like having, I don't know, a superpowered research assistant working alongside you.
Exactly.
You could delve so much deeper into topics. You could explore connections you might never have seen otherwise.
Yes.
And maybe even discover something completely new along the way.
Exactly. And maybe, just like Harari suggests, this whole coevolution thing, maybe it pushes human thought in entirely new directions.
Oh, wow.
We might start asking different questions, approaching problems from completely new angles, all thanks to this unique perspective that AI offers.
So it's not about AI versus humans.
Right.
But about finding ways to actually work together.
Yes.
To learn from each other and push the boundaries of what's even possible.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to that $130,000 piece of AI-generated art.
Yeah.
Is that a threat to human creativity?
Right.
Or the beginning of something totally new, a beautiful, mind-blowing collaboration?
Right.
If AI can create art that's valued that highly, what does that mean for artists, for the art world, for creativity itself?
It's like we are on the verge of something huge, but also a little bit terrifying, all at the same time.
It's exciting.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
But it's a little intimidating, too, to think about what might come next.
Yeah.
It really does feel like we're standing at the foot of this, this huge unclimbed mountain. Someone can see the peak, right? The incredible potential of AI. But we have absolutely no idea what's waiting for us on the way up.
And I think that's what makes this so much bigger than just the latest tech trends, This isn't just about faster phones or fancier gadgets. This is about what it means to be human in a world where intelligence isn't limited to just our own brains.
It's a real mind bender if you let yourself really go there.
Right.
We've been talking about AI making decisions, even creating art. But could AI actually fundamentally change the way we think?
That's really the heart of the matter, isn't it? Harari's whole concept of coevolution, it suggests just that AI won't just exist alongside us. It will fundamentally reshape how we approach the world, how we solve problems, even how we define creativity.
So it's not even about whether AI is good or bad at this point.
Right.
It's about how we choose to evolve alongside it.
Exactly. And that evolution, it starts with how we choose to use AI as a tool, as a collaborator, as a source of inspiration even.
Right.
Are we willing to engage with it critically, challenge its assumptions, push its boundaries, or are we going to passively accept its output as the final word, potentially limiting our own intellectual growth in the process?
That's a really good point, because if we're not careful, we might end up limiting our own potential, not because AI is inherently bad,
right,
but because we haven't figured out how to integrate it in a way that actually empowers us.
It's a bit like learning to ride a bike,
Okay, yeah.
At first, you need the training wheels, right, for support.
Right.
But eventually, you got to take them off. You have to learn to balance on your own.
Right.
AI, it can be like those training wheels. It can help us get started. But we can't let it hold us back from actually developing the skills that we need to really, truly fly.
It's about finding that sweet spot, right? Leveraging the power of AI, but without becoming overly reliant on it.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, that process, that coevolution, maybe that leads to entirely new ways of thinking.
It's an exciting thought.
It is exciting. New forms of creativity,
Yeah.
new solutions to problems that we haven't even encountered yet.
Exactly. And, it's maybe, just maybe, the most important impact of AI, it won't be on what it creates, but on what it inspires us to become.
And on that note, I think we'll leave everyone with that thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep those brains buzzing.